Hello everyone, welcome back to Hero Wars Guide. We got a big data update today, so there's a lot to go over. I'll start off with the schedule as usual, but then we'll take a look at some game data updates as well, including the new hero Julius as we expected, but also a hero getting revamped skills and Ascension skills. Alright, starting off with the schedule, here tonight we have the Negator of All Creation returns. This is the Karkh Soulstone event. I don't think I'm going to have time before this goes live to do any kind of deep dive on this one. You may see in the site that the rewards for this event are higher than most other Hero Soulstone events. However, I'm not sure that's going to ring true this time around. This was one of the first of the Hero Soulstone events that they launched for us, so I think the doll contents may have changed. And I only had a sample size of something like 150 openings, and I may have gotten luckier than typical. I had something like a 43% splitter rate when the normal is 40, and even a difference of a few percentage above 40 can make a pretty considerable difference in the return. So I'm going to play this one like I would most Soulstone events and just ignore it as though there was no event running. And I think that's appropriate for almost everyone out there. Alright, and then as soon as that one's done, we're going to get right into the Julius introduction event. This event does seem to follow the exact same pattern we've seen for all of the last new hero events outside of Winterfest. And just like how Ishmael was reworked inside of, I believe it was the Fafnir event, I think we may be seeing something for the new Ascension hero this time around inside of the same event as well. And this time around it looks like Peppy is going to be the hero with new Ascension skills. So I believe that may mean that we have the opportunity to get Peppy dolls in the event instead of Julius, but I think that would be a bad move since Peppy is available through normal means. I don't personally believe in getting any of the dolls even for the new hero, other than the handful, 11 or so, that it typically takes to summon them. But that's just because I bank on having the soul stones kind of come essentially for free by the time that I'll build the hero up to be battle ready anyway, in terms of skins and items and artifacts and Ascension and everything else out there. So if you guys are psyched on having Julius maxed out right away, that approach may not make sense for you, but for me it'll be the items that come in the shop. The new hero event is probably a topic worth its own video if I don't have one. But at a summary level, these usually aren't very high value events for what you have to spend. The 120k on the high end of emeralds is extremely high, and the return rate is not very good, and tends to be somewhat concentrated at the beginning and the end of the curve. But for now, I'll leave it at that and move into the game data update. Alright, here we are in the game data files. This one is just the English language definitions for the game. There are a few items of note here that we'll look at. One, the artifact weapon for Julius appears to be Catalite Dish. Kind of a silly name, staying on theme, it looks like, for this new hero. I'm going to skip over a lot of these because they're just not very interesting. But so this is another piece that I thought was kind of peculiar. They are removing a lot of the definitions that we had for the Light Titan. You can see here the name is removed, and it's not replaced with anything else either. So I think they might be kind of reworking the Light Super Titan before it even comes out. We will see a few other definitions get deleted here as well. Not 100% sure what to make of that. Other than if they are going through a rework at this late stage in the game, then that tells me that it'll probably be at least a few weeks before we would potentially see anything for the Super Titan event. But that's more speculation than fact. Alright, skimming through the rest of this. This is concentrated on new event stuff. I'm going to skip over the story text. You'll see that more interestingly in game. So here are the skills I mentioned being deleted for the Light Titan. And this here is part of why I suspect that Peppy is getting a rework rather than just Ascension skills. As you can see, these first 4 lines here appear to be Julius's skills, But then there's another 4 with the names that line up with Peppy's existing skills. However, they're creating new entries for them for some reason. And then down here you can see the new skills being added as her Ascension abilities, Reckless Masquerade and Spirit of Boldness. And here we can get a first look at what the skills are. So when Peppy uses Masquerade effects, an enemy always takes a certain amount of magic damage. If an enemy evades a Masquerade effect, the skill is applied to them again, but no more than 3 times. So it looks like there will be several chances for the Masquerade ability to potentially get applied to heroes that are somehow dodging the effect. Full disclosure, I don't know almost anything about Peppy. I don't have her built up, and no one on my server really seems to either. So, this would be kind of interesting to see maybe a new hero coming into the mix with a little more popularity. And then second ability, an ally affected by boldness takes 25% less magical and physical damage. Critical damage is cut in half. So it looks like a nice general purpose upgrade to the skill. And then maybe she's being positioned as some kind of Sebastian counter or something. Critical damage, can come from a number of different heroes, but Sebastian is one of them. And I'm not really sure what would be qualifying as evading a Masquerade effect, but if that means that the debuff is not being applied due to Sebastian's ultimate ability, then maybe this is going to take several attempts at applying those debuffs, potentially burning through the debuff shield all the while. Anyway, just some early thoughts there. Obviously, I haven't seen these in production, so we'll have to wait and see how they play out. May as well take a quick look at Julius's skills while we're here. It looks like the first one, which is most likely the ultimate, is a defensive matrix that absorbs all damage. So it looks like maybe this is some kind of variant of Astaroth's ultimate ability, except this one will probably not be utterly worthless like Astaroth's is. It looks like it's damage of all types instead of just physical, and odds are it's also a reasonable amount of damage as opposed to the pittance that Astaroth can block. Anyway, after the shield is destroyed, all heroes in the team are healed. Second skill is Julius gets a single target shield for himself, and if it's not destroyed in a little while, it gets applied to all of the allies. And it looks like anyone who is under the protection of a shield gets a physical attack bonus as well. Then third skill, Julius protects allies even after the shields are destroyed. When allies lose a shield, negative effects are removed and they gain armor bonus and magic defense for a certain duration. Alright, so maybe that new Peppy skill is also kind of a Julius counter. It looks like Julius might be some kind of anti-control capabilities as well. Alright, and then fourth skill here grants feline reflexes to all allies, speeding up their attacks and skills for each active shield. Interesting, so this sounds like a pretty good mix of abilities. Obviously a lot of it is going to come down to what these modifier numbers are, and I don't have that for you today, but just a little sneak preview of what's to come. We'll probably learn more in the official live stream tomorrow. All right, I think that's it for this file. I'll do a little bit of a scan just to confirm. Yeah, the rest of this is just task names. The title of the Lightness Titan has also been deleted. Oh, this reminds me, this is one more thing interesting here. You can see this is a new type of quest. It looks like it's been added to battle passes. Sorry, not quest, but a reward type. But you can see it allows an upgrade of a hero to a certain number of stars or a titan to a certain number of stars. And while these new types of rewards themselves maybe are not the most interesting thing, if they're adding new types, that almost certainly means that there's going to be a new battle pass coming pretty soon. Battle pass being the golden ticket seasons that we see every few months lately. Alright, in here, this file is listing the quests that are going to be part of the 7-day adventure board for the new hero. Most of these are shown in terms that are, not always perfectly clear on how they translate to a specific game mechanic. So I'll see if I can parse these out and release something separate as a list of those. All right, same thing here. We have the shop contents added to the game. I don't already have a reader for this, and I don't know that I will have time before I head out to the evening to convert things like coin number 1044 to something useful. But when I can, I will add that to the video description. If we've not already seen it in an official trailer or from some other source. All right, and then last thing here is the new skins. The default is coming, and this shows us here that the stat bonus is strength. If we didn't know it already, this is confirming that Julius's primary stat is strength. And then I believe they were getting a new second skin right off the bat as well. It looks like that's going to be Magic Resist is the Masquerade skin for Julius. So that's kind of confirming a little bit more for me that Julius is probably going to be pretty effective against control heroes. All right, so I think that's all I'm going to go through. I skipped over a lot of, I think, kind of hard to read or meaningless things. There are some summaries that I think I can create from this game data, like the quest list and the shop contents. And I'll get that added to the description as soon as I can here, unless, by the time I'm done recording and editing this, that it's already public knowledge from somewhere else. Otherwise, I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you again next time.